Go ahead. You got it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the awesemo.com live before lock show, where we play with production cues just to keep us on our toes. I'm Chris Spags, joined by my good pal, the Chubster Josh Engelman. How you doing, Josh?
I honestly, it would be hard to be better.
Really? That's a good one. That's like the most uplifting. You didn't say that with an uplifting tone at all, though.
Yeah, well, I'm still riding high off of Liverpool's performance yesterday. I just watched Tottenham do basically the exact same thing to Ajax. So, yeah, soccer's fun right now. We'll get a Premier League title on Sunday if we cross our fingers. Champions League final on June 1st. I'm decked out in my Liverpool gear for today. It's a good day.
There you go. And you know why else is a good day, Josh? Because we have Fantasy Cruncher Pro in our lives now, which has improved my day-to-day. I wake up every morning. I'm blessed. I thank the Lord every single day that I have access to both the lineup study tools, all the different tools you can look at in Lineup Rewind now to check my tournament lineups and how they would perform. A lot of things there which are great that I literally wake up every morning thankful for. That is not an exaggeration, my friends. If you use that promo code live before lock, you get half off the first month of any package, including ones with Fantasy Cruncher Pro. I think that's true, right? I'm not saying that is actually true, right, Josh?
I cannot confirm that.
I know we have a package that gives it half off, so I assume every package does include, every code does include it at this point. But if it doesn't, come back to us. But it should include.
Let's not push the FC Pro 50% off piece right now. But I have not been told differently, but I'm not confident in it. So let's go.
We do in the article that we put up, we do have a code that gets 50% off for the first month of FC Pro. So I assume it's everything. But if not, get 50% off with promo code live before lock. Get the regular Fantasy Cruncher either way. Get all the ownership projections, which are the most important part, the rankings, the projections, which are right from Osmo, coming every single day for MLB. Josh's stuff for NBA as well. If you get an all sport package, still have those going on for all the playoffs, including my content as well, a daily column breaking down the day's playoff slates. So use that promo code live before lock right now to get in there for half off your first month on any package. Oh, yeah. You get half off your FC, but not FC Pro. There we go. All right. Well,
that is what I expected. That is what I expected.
But yeah, so use that promo code anyway. Get half off the first month. All right, Josh, what are we doing with your crunches so far? We have 8 games here. I'll tell you right now, I'm just playing Chris Sale. I'm not trying to get cute with it. I think that's sort of the one differentiation point I'm making from the jump, because it's just is what it is. I don't see this pitching being any better. But tell me what you're getting at pitcher so far. Which guys are you willing to go to?
Yeah, my top 4 as of right now are Sale, then a step down to Kershaw, Peacock, and then Hendricks. John Gray kind of close as well. But nobody is grading out as just like a no-brainer. I mean, Sale looks great, Kershaw looks great, but they're not breaking free from the pack like some of the other studs have recently. So I think that I'm going to be pretty flat. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I mean, depending on what happens with this Rockies-Giants game, I might have a lot of pitching. If Gray and Holland both get yanked in the next 55 minutes, I'm going to have a bigger concentration around Sale, Kershaw, Peacock, Hendricks, and probably Trent Thornton.
Okay. No Jose Urena for you, because I felt a little bit better about it because he comes up a lot for me when optimizing. And not a guy I'm super into. He's been terrible on the year, but shit, my money on the deeper dive was saying that he's been getting them in crunches. So that made me feel a little bit less alone, at least, if nothing else. Price-wise on DK, he sort of works from an SV2 standpoint, but he's not in your crunches.
Gray? No.
I know Urena.
Oh, I could have swore you were talking about Sonny Gray there. I don't know how I got to that in my head. He might. And the only reason that I say that is because I have him like pretty massively behind Derek Holland. So I'm never going to get to Urena before I get to Holland. But if Holland comes out of there, Urena is the guy 7K or below that I would use as a paydown option. But for right now, it's not something that I'm looking at. I think that Colorado Giants game is going to play.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the fact that they made it this far is the piece that's really interesting to me. It's an uncomfortable game to want to play, but now I think like it's not real, like it's just a crappy game. The fact that they're going to let people get to the stadium and like everybody's going to warm up, they're going to play then. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. I didn't think there was a chance that this game would play, and every minute that gets closer and closer to lock is more likely that we see it happen.
Yeah, right now in our projections, we have it at 40% postponement risk. I was getting a lot of Holland in crunches, which is actually why I ended up going to Urena, because I just didn't want to get to Holland a ton. I'm not comfortable with the game, or at least wasn't as of an hour ago. But yeah, I want to keep a close eye on this one because I do like the game. I think there's upside going against Holland. I think there's upside going with Holland. I think Gray as well. There's some upside there going against that Giants lineup. So I don't know about this game, but I'm right now mostly avoiding it.
Yeah, I expected them to have canceled this game 6 hours ago. But they're going to have like 1,000 people in this ballpark and 18 really aggravated players.
Yeah, no, I think that seems fair. And it seems like it's not going to be a pleasant game for any fans to attend either, but I guess we'll see. And we'll keep you guys, obviously, keep you abridged on any updates as they come through. If there are any, hopefully we'll get something during this hour because, yeah, I'm not playing it right now. And I would like to have some exposure if it is going to be a game that's available.
I'm going to wait it out until 6:40 and figure out what I need to do there because I want like all of it. I want both pitchers. I want both teams as stacks, particularly the Rockies. It's going to be like, it's just really not pleasing. I mean, I don't like the Giants all that much. They're just kind of easy to get to, but I want to have a lot of Rockies, a lot of Gray, and in my non-Rockies and Gray lineups, Derek Holland. If, he's 5,800. That makes it really easy to get to bats.
Yep, I agree. One guy who also lets you get bats at least a little bit better, who violent by design with many letters instead of the vowels in that one, saying not on your boy Gibson. You're not going to your boy Kyle Gibson at all here. I don't know that he's officially your boy. I feel like he's more of a Jake boy.
Gibson's another guy where I will get to a lot more of him once we get word on this because Gray is pretty massively ahead of him for me, $300 more expensive. Plus, Hendricks and Peacock so close to him in salary, like all within that $1,000. So I get to Kyle Gibson if we start getting a thinner pitching crop.
Okay,
that game is really like driving a lot of my decision process right now.
That seems like fair. I mean, it also is going to be leverage if you do get in there and we get the announcement, let's say at 10, 15 minutes before lock. So I get why you would particularly want to attack it that way with tournaments. For me, I do get Kyle Gibson right now. I think the aggregate strikeout rate, they have 26% strikeouts in that lineup for Toronto today, which I think gives it a little boost. I'm not a huge Kyle Gibson guy. He's certainly not a big strikeout guy, just 8 Ks per 9 on the year, which is in line with his longer term sample size. But 4.1 runs against, I feel like on this slate, I can kind of take that. I mean, if I'm willing to take Urania, I'm willing to take Kyle Gibson. So that's about as ringing of endorsement as I can give on this slate.
By the way, I just wanted to let you know, today on Live Before Lock, we happen to be brought to you by Yahoo Sports. We have a new overlay with a nice little Yahoo Sports in the upper right-hand corner. So shout out to Yahoo. Thanks for taking this one over for us today.
That's live ad buying right on the show we're going on. But yes, go check out Yahoo. They are one of the more player-friendly sites out there. Going to favor a lot of your hand building and not the sharkier optimizations that you can find out there. So go check out Yahoo, support them. It's a promo code Osmo.
It is indeed.
Yes, go check that out. Promo code Osmo will get you your deposit bonus, which I don't have the data on in front of me. All right. Let's see here. Looking at questions right now, see if there's anything. Oh, here's one important question which we didn't touch on at all. Clayton Kershaw, he is kind of a guy who, at least from a price standpoint, seems like a pivot to sale. I think he's a perfectly fine pitcher in general. I think his stats look better this year. Like I think he's mostly back, or at least, he may not ever reach the heights he had before. But I was into him as a sale pivot earlier in the day. At this point, more thought about it, more thinking about the Braves. I didn't really see the need to get there a lot. I'd rather just go with Sale. If Sale bombs, that's sort of what it is. Any Kershaw exposure for you as a Sale pivot?
Yeah, I expect him to be probably my second most owned pitcher. Okay. He grades out as my second best option. I don't love targeting against the Braves because they're not a really great strikeout matchup. But I think Kershaw is fantastic, so I'm willing to take my chances.
Okay. Yeah, I just like Sale enough where I feel like he's got the low implied total. He's going against Baltimore. I don't really see the need to go there. I mean, for tournaments, I guess, in terms of leverage, I could see wanting to go there more. But for a max 20 for me, like at that point, I'm getting less of the stacks I want to try. And I feel like the hitting on the slate, there's a lot of lineups I could see having a big day here. And we'll talk about them in a second. But I feel like that was sort of my priority, where I'd rather just take Sale and not worry about Sale versus Kershaw and try to get more of the stacks that have upside. So I don't know. That's sort of how I viewed it, at least.
When's our last ownership update? Do you know? 549. Okay, let me grab that quick. I just want to see where where Sale and Kershaw are coming in. If you have it in front of you, feel free to speak that into existence.
I don't know that I got the most recent update. I think I got one that might have been the one before that.
That's fine. All right,
Yeah.
Kershaw 30, Kershaw 35, Sale 50.
Sorry, go on.
Kershaw 35, Sale 50.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, so here's a question more for you because you are heavily looking at the numbers in terms of leverage and all that. Is that really a meaningful enough difference where you want to, bump up your Sale ownership amount? Because like it's 15%, Kershaw's still going to be pretty chalky. Does it matter that much?
No, not like comparing the two of them together. It doesn't really matter at all to me. That's about what I think the split should be. The bigger question is sort of what should be the high end for that ratio. 50% feels like it's going to be a lot of Sale when I run this crunch. Like I fully expect to get way more Kyle Hendricks, way more Peacock, John Gray if he's available. I'm not really looking forward to crunching. Like I'm really just, it's not going to be fun. Because if I run a crunch right now, I'm going to get like 30% John Gray. And like I'm either doing that or not having him at all. And both of those trickle down effects change everything that happens for me. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, look, for me, we've talked about this on the show before, but like I like to get my stuff done before the show because I find it hard to multitask, and also just the processing power of running Fantasy Cruncher starts to slow down my stream a little bit. But I made my stand beforehand, and at this point I have a little bit of Derek Holland, which I'll swap out if I need to. But I think for you, when you're building up to the last minute, as you'll see Josh do it on the show as we go, and he'll talk you through it. But I think that's certainly a nice advantage to have if you are going to be building and optimizing up to the last minute, because people won't be on John Gray as much as they would have otherwise.
Yeah, he's not going to get a ton of ownership, I would expect, both from I'm pitching in cores type scenario to this game might not happen.
Yeah, he's under 5% projected ownership on DK right now. Derek Holland on the other side, also under 5% on our ownership projections. So that could certainly, that would certainly be much higher, I think, if we knew that everything was in the clear and that game would be going for sure. All right, let's see. Let's talk about stacks here. We'll talk some hitters before we do our home run picks at the halfway point of the show, which need to make up some ground on stupid Josh. But the stacks, Josh, they're very important today. A lot of teams in good spots. Which stacks are you getting the most?
Someone in Mr. 49ers for life just said, Josh, I thought you were a true Braves fan. Throw your hat in the trash. Chris, you can't see this right now. I am wearing a Braves hat.
Oh, well, you're not a true Braves fan,
and like,
because you're not wearing
it's not
the white
a
Braves
weird
hat.
Braves hat. It's a navy blue Braves hat with a big old white Atlanta Braves A on it, as if it, pretty much just like every Braves hat that exists. So, Mr. 49ers fan, I don't know if you're watching a different video and somehow ended up in this chat, but I am a Braves fan, and I don't know why I would throw this in the trash. Unless you're telling me that the Braves are trash, but I won't understand anyway. So stacks.
Or maybe you're not enough of a Braves fan to wear the hat. I don't know.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Mr. 49ers for life, please clarify your stance as you're giving what hats we cannot and cannot wear. I'm actually wearing a Los Ingobernables hat, so I don't know if I should throw mine in the trash. I'm not enough of a fan of Japanese pro wrestling.
I'm doing the NATO eye thing.
Okay, that's hopefully that one's okay with the PC police.
I mean, it's okay. It's a wrestling gimmick here.
You never know. How's the water for the Los Ingobernables?
How's the what?
How's the water for the Los Ingobernables?
Okay, that one's not great. So
tell me
top
about your
stacks.
stack.
Red Sox back at the top for like the 5th straight day. They are the chalk. I expect to have, a similar amount. They don't grade out as well as they have over the past couple days in relationship to like the second team. So that's okay for me. Angels right now are 2. Dodgers are 3rd on FanDuel, 5th on...
You said Angels are 2 on FanDuel?
Angels are 2 on FanDuel and DK.
Ooh.
Rockies are 3rd. Did I delete that formula? Son of a bee sting, I did.
Wow. So you're going against Matthew Boyd. I don't agree with that take.
So part of the issue is that Mike Trout unnaturally drags up a team's ranking. Well, maybe not unnaturally, but Trout plays a really big role in this. But Ohtani grades out really well for me. He's still super cheap on FanDuel. Pujols is only 2,800 on FanDuel. David Fletcher is leading off. I don't think that he's very good, but he's 2,600 and hitting ahead of Mike Trout. So he gets the opportunity for a lot of additional plate appearances. Could see himself get on for, maybe a Trout dong or an Ohtani dong or something along those lines. I'm not the biggest Matt Boyd guy. He doesn't project well from a FIP perspective from Steamer. The line on this game is even, so I'm not too worried about having the Angels. It's never like the most exciting thing in the world for me, because I don't like a lot of their hitters, but that's not why I'm still going to stack them up. So Boyd getting a little bit of ownership now compared to where he was this morning, I am figuring that I end up with quite a bit of Angels.
Okay. So, I mean, I wish I don't look enough at this stuff. I think because for me, it would just get noisy in terms of how I perceive data. I wish the deeper dive guys, maybe they did talk about it and I didn't hear it today. But Matthew Boyd this year it seems like he's improved pretty substantially. He's got a 0.99 whip down from 1.1. So you going back to last year, 15% swinging strike rate up from 11.1% going back to last year, 34.8% chase rate up from 30.6%. So I feel like there's probably something in terms of pitch type. His home run rate's also down, which, that could certainly regress, but strikeouts also up to 11.6. I feel like there may be something he's doing differently when the numbers kind of jump that much, but they're still in range of what his performance could be. So I would be curious to know more about that. Unfortunately, I don't have that in front of me, but I think I have some pause going against him. The Angels don't strike out, so that's one positive for him. But I don't see going against Boyd today. I feel like his stuff is good enough where he's not going to get banged around rather.
Maybe I mean, his entire career before this year has been, high teens to low 20s in strikeout rate. It's 32 now. Look, he's been fantastic to start the season. I don't want it to seem like I don't.
He wasn't bad last year either, though.
But he wasn't a 32% K. Like a 22% K rate last year is good, but it's an 8.4 K per 9. It's 3 full Ks per 9 higher so far this season. So the 44 innings that he's thrown so far probably make up like 10% of what I think he is. So I'm not ready to jump on that yet. Here's the key piece. I'm going to read these off. This is 15, 16, 17, 18. 17, 13, 11, 11. That's his home run per fly ball rate. This year, 4.5. That is not something that you just get better at. It's relatively consistent. He's been a little hit lucky, and he gave up 27 dongs in 170 innings last year. He's given up 2 this year in 44. So I think that he's got a little bit of oomph coming against him at some point in time. Not that I think he's going to catch up to his normal rates, but he's had trouble with power in the past, and in 44 innings, I'm not ready to just throw that away. Okay, that's part of the reason why his FIP projects as high as it does, because he's had trouble with the long ball in the past.
Yeah, I mean, even go back to last year, though, he had a 3.3% home run rate. The league average is around 2.9, so it's not. We're looking at different numbers. The same results, obviously, but different ways of the same number. So it doesn't seem like it's that much higher. He does seem significantly lower, being a third of as much as he was giving up in terms of home runs this year. That doesn't seem sustainable. But the rest of the stuff, I don't know. I feel like I like what I've seen from him. I liked what I saw from down the stretch last year too. So I would be more inclined to play him, though I'm not, because again, he just doesn't work price wise for what I was trying to do today. But yeah, I would be more inclined to go with him than against him personally.
I don't expect to have a single share.
Okay. Wow. All right. So Matthew Boyd, if you were hearing this, if you're watching this right now in the locker room, pitch a good game today just to show Josh what's up.
All right, what should my money saying? I get the message from Adam in Slack. WTF are you doing with the Colorado game?
There you go. He could have tuned in to Live Before Lock and found out firsthand that you're just sweating it out to the last minute.
It's not pleasant to think about. So where are you at stack-wise?
So, rather than talk about the ones, obviously I have some Boston, I have some Houston, I have those kind of the ones that you're expecting. A little bit of Cubs, not as much as I thought I would earlier in the day. I have a little bit going against Brad Peacock. He's the leverage guy I kind of want to go against. His splits versus lefties are much worse. So this isn't the best lineup to go against him with. I do think they have enough guys who can hurt him. I think the thing, too, that really jumps out to me, and I said this yesterday with Colin McHugh, he's not as good as Garrett Cole was, and Garrett Cole got pretty beaten up the day before. Then we saw Colin McHugh get completely shelled yesterday. And now we're getting to a worse pitcher. Like, these guys are all, to me, on the same spectrum. Garrett Cole's the best version of it. He had problems, but he still got through, had a decent day. McHugh got shelled. I think Peacock is worse than McHugh, and people are going to him at 25% ownership. So I'd rather go to the Royal stack today, personally.
I think that McHugh is a better pitcher than Brad Peacock. Brad Peacock is a much better strikeout pitcher. So Peacock is a guy that I have a lot more interest in a tournament than I do, generally speaking, Colin McHugh. Yesterday was different in that I still liked McHugh because of his price. Clearly, he ate a big pile of them. But they are very different pitchers in terms of sort of the upside that I think can happen. And Adam and I talked about him a little bit this morning, but I was hoping that his ownership would stay kind of down. He's grading out better for me now that I've given him an innings boost. He's been going deeper into games than I originally projected for him. So I'm just going to side with the strikeouts at the bottom of the Royals order and hope that Peacock can keep mowing these dudes down.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I just, for me, I'm not super into Peacock. And once, like, to me, you talked about leverage. Like, I'd rather leverage against Peacock than I would against Matthew Boyd, because I think Boyd's stuff is good. Peacock's stuff, I think, is passable. I see the strikeout numbers that you're talking about, but I don't know. I just don't think he's as good of a pitcher, and I'd rather go with a team who's been performing versus better pitchers, at least as I view him.
I mean, I'm going to have some Royals bats. They grade out in the middle of the pack for me, so next to the Angels getting the bump from Boyd, the next team up on the list for me will be Kansas City bats. So I'm actually anxious to run the crunch to see which one pulls out more. Do I get lowered Peacock ownership to leverage the Royals, or does it end up being some sort of balance where I get to like 15, 20 of Peacock, have the Royals be like my fifth or sixth stack and cover my bases there?
Yeah, I think that seems fair. Yeah, the Royals were just one stack I wanted to get. The price isn't great on them either. I think it would be a little bit easier to go to them at more volume if you were going to kind of have them at more reasonable prices on DraftKings. You have a couple guys over 5K who I don't mind paying for in small doses just to be contrarian, because everybody here is under 10% owned, besides Chris Owings, I guess. So I don't mind paying up a little bit, but it's a lot to pay for the Royals in a spot where, Peacock's not terrible. Two other stacks I'm getting that we didn't talk about. The Reds are coming up for me a lot as a value stack. Using our projections at Osmo.com, they come up as one of those kind of cheaper ones to help you afford Sale and maybe some better bats. And the Dodgers are one I forced in there a lot. I wasn't getting them a lot projection-wise, but I like the spot versus Fultonevich, who doesn't seem like he has anything this year. He's got a 1.4 whip, 5.7 xFIP, 11.8 hits per 9 allowed, only 49 batters faced, but the early results have not been good, and I wonder maybe he came back a little too soon or something, but very far off his numbers going back to last year. So I think if anybody can take advantage of it, that Dodgers lineup can. So Dodgers and Reds would be two I'd throw at you to see how you're feeling about them.
Dodgers rank 5th for me on DK. Reds are 6th.
Okay.
Dodgers are 3rd for me, though, on FanDuel. I don't
prices.
get the sense that I'll get a ton of Dodgers or Reds on DK just because of the pitching ownership. I think they'll naturally fall to pull up leverage. But I don't have really like any sort of aversion if that's where you're starting a lineup.
Yeah, I think they're a strong one that's going to, they tend to go under owned. Ownership is coming up a little bit on them in our most recent update. There are a couple guys there. Peterson, Bellinger? No, Turner is going to be pretty owned. Bellinger is going to be under 10%, which I like. And Corey Seager is going to be close to 20% on DraftKings. So people are getting on them a little bit more. But I still like that stack. And the Reds, I guess, talk about the Reds real fast and going against Brett Anderson. I like them, narratively, I think coming off of getting no hit by a not great pitcher in Mike Fiers. I think that certainly gives you a little bit of oomph. But also having Senzel, who's been pretty good versus lefties, at least split-wise, in a very, very limited sample. Brett Anderson's going to let guys make contact. I like this Red stack as kind of a pivot to some of the ownership out there, even though they're also getting owned, I guess, as the day goes on. But what are you doing with the Reds?
It's basically the exact same answer that I just gave for the Dodgers. I'll be giving for the Reds. They grade out in the top half of my stacks. Actually, they're probably, just based on what I'm looking at now, I expect them to be my biggest fade, although the Astros might be close. And that's just because I don't have anything to leverage and they don't grade out. They're my 6th best team of 8 or 16 today. So like, I'm going to get more of the guys at the top, and then I'm going to start getting teams for leverage, and the Reds are neither of those two things. So I think that they are just going to tumble in terms of ownership once I start sorting.
Okay, that's fair. So I guess this might be helpful, and I've heard you talk about it a few times. But I think when we talk about these stacks and how you're approaching it for your builds when you're optimizing, how much do you weigh the importance of leverage versus like just the quality of a stack? Where these guys seem like good values, but nobody's going on the pitcher on the other side. Like how much do you weight those things when you're building?
Pretty even. It's pretty close to a third for total fantasy points, percentage chance of hitting a target score, and ownership for opposing pitchers. Pretty close to a third. Be the easiest way to describe it, at least.
Okay, that's fair. So I guess when you have a sort of, they're not a great stack. 3.9 implied run total, certainly not the most appealing, but it's easier to get there when you're just kind of looking at it holistically. Like, these guys are okay values. Maybe they'll get some production against Anderson, who's not that good. But I could see where you're saying there. They don't jump out off the page in any of those categories in a meaningful way. Okay.
Yeah, like I don't have issues with any Reds bats. Let me pull it back up. So, like the Senzel, Votto, Suarez, Puig group of 4 at the top, I like a lot. Like they make a lot of sense to me. The next 4 guys grade out really, really poorly. So if I do get to Reds, it's going to be very concentrated at the top.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right. I think for me, they're sort of a necessary function, and I just think Brett Anderson too, like not very good. And certainly Jake and I talked about that yesterday with going against Mike Fiers, and we were both okay with the Reds in that spot. I don't know, they just seem like they're due to have better days. I would like them more if they were hitting in the Great American Ballpark. Hopefully that name hasn't changed. I feel like I don't keep enough on Cincinnati Park names. All right. What else should we hit on before dong pick? Let's just do dong picks. We got 1 minute left to go. We're at the halfway point of the show. To update the scoreboard, Josh still in a lead with 6 on the year. Emac number 2 with 5 on the year. I'm number 3 with 4, and Jake still at number 2. Yesterday, I had Mookie Betts only to watch JD Martinez get on the board after Jake and I debated whether I'd go JD or Mookie Betts. So I'm feeling good, Josh, but I'll let you make your pick first because you are the maximum security in our race to the Kentucky Derby crown.
Is that the guy that won or the guy that lost?
The guy that won, but was a big cheater, so that he got disqualified. And then the guy who wasn't even affected in any way ended up winning.
So I'm like the secretariat of this shit then.
Well, other than the fact that Secretariat didn't lose in the first year, I guess.
Yeah, only maybe he did. We don't know.
Sure. Can't never confirm that.
Yeah, I don't think that information exists. Man, I'd love to troll you and go to Mookie Betts just for yesterday and get the satisfaction of it. But I'm actually going to take... No, I can't do it. I don't trust it. The only things that are standing out to me are Red Sox bats right now. I don't feel comfortable about grabbing Anthony Rizzo again to hit a dong, even though he's my dude for doing it recently. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Give me Mookie Betts.
All right. That's fair. Going against Andrew Kashner, a good spot for lots of people to pick home runs. On the Four Corners video I do, which if you're not watching, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we have content go live. I did a thing yesterday where I just made people comment in the comments what 2 teammates they thought were going to hit a home run. And because the Red Sox had I think 3 or 4 guys who hit a home run, there were an alarming amount of people were correct. But Mookie Betts was not one of them, of course. Why would he be? I'm going to go Cody Bellinger. He's the guy I've been the most on all day. So his numbers on the year, I just want to bring him to the public because I feel like, I don't know, maybe the stuff that I'm reading isn't talking about enough. He's over 400 in every category so far this year. And he's also been good just in general versus righties going back to last year. But he's got a 474 on base percentage, a 403 batting average, a 403 ISO, and a 400 BABIP so far in 2019 with a 230 WRC plus, which really he deserves credit, I think, for that. He's getting the credit in terms of pricing, but not in terms of the public eye where people are like, oh, Cody Bellinger's great. He's been really freaking good.
I mean, I think you're sleeping on him a bit yourself. Well, I mean, he projects 9th in weighted runs created plus from Steamer. He's a top 10 hitter in baseball and has been for a while.
Maybe. I just feel like people won't talk about him in the rarefied air of certainly he's not a Trout, but
people don't talk about him because he's 5,800 on DraftKings and impossible to roster. That's
and because he's on an LA team and the West Coast bias.
He's just never affordable. That's the problem, honestly.
I think
if
it's
Cody Bellinger was hold on. If Cody Bellinger was JD Martinez price today, people would lose their minds.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. I think that's
Is he
fair.
literally the most expensive hitter? Is he more expensive than Trout? He's $200 more expensive than Trout.
Yeah, he's the most expensive outfielder right now in DraftKings,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty aware.
What is Emac saying? Oh, Bregman got. Oh, apparently Emac got one last night. I don't even. Emac's picks really just flying in here, but Emac also has a pick, so I guess I should pay more attention. Emac got his right yesterday, so now he's tied with you technically.
Well, that's fine. When Betts goes yard, I'll end the charade of having someone tied with me. By the way, Jake took Muncy like a loser.
Okay, so we got two maxes in here. Oh, and Jake's trolling my Dodgers pick. What? I swear to God, if Bellinger goes like 0 for today and Muncy has a home run, I'll be a little bit hurt by that.
We're gonna get a double dong out of Alex Verdugo.
Not a bad pick, Alex Verdugo. He's no Cody Bellinger, but I think people sleep on Cody Bellinger. I think you're too sharp. I think if we talk to the rest of America, they wouldn't be like, oh, Cody Bellinger, yeah, that guy, super elite.
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
Brett's pick is Eugenio Suarez. Brett, everybody chiming in with their picks. Brett got one right the other day though, or maybe it was yesterday. But Eugenio Suarez for Brett. So you're still not getting on a spreadsheet yet, Brett. One day, if you keep working hard, putting your nose to the grindstone, Brett, one day you'll make it amongst such luminaries as me, Josh, Jake, and Emac.
2 for 2, he claims. Tweet is in.
So he claims. I saw one yesterday. I didn't see what he did on Monday, so I don't know. I'll verify Brett's one though.
I can barely remember who I pick immediately after I pick them, so there will come a time in the next 26 minutes where I'll be like, who the hell was my home run pick? Mitch Moreland? I can't remember. By the way, it was going to be Mitch Moreland. I got nervous.
Oh, Mitch Moreland had one yesterday, so I'm pretty sure he's one of the ones I had yesterday.
I got that alert while I was walking my dog.
Yeah, that was a lot of home runs yesterday. All right.
Makad just nailed it in premium Slack.
You do. Oh, there we go. I think no one knows who Bellinger is because no one watches baseball. That's a fair take. I just want to see more hype around my guy. Even in LA, nobody cares at all about.
Nobody cares about anything in Los Angeles, man.
No, it's true. But Cody Bellinger's basically Ted Williams, and nobody's like, "Oh, let's go watch that Cody Bellinger." That doesn't occur. All right, check it for questions. Nothing else good here. Anything you think is going under the radar that we haven't talked about? I feel like we covered most of the corners on the slate, and we can do some more, general points here. How about Tyler Skaggs? Not at pitcher. Well, I guess the deeper dive guys did talk about him as a pitching option. I'd rather go against him with Detroit because he's been missing bats at a really low rate. And I think Detroit can take advantage of him because that's their issue is that they strike out a lot. And Tyler Skaggs doesn't seem to be getting them. So I've got Detroit stacks. Do you have any stake in the Skaggs-Detroit battle?
I think they both stink. So I don't know who I'll get out of that. Preferably neither of them. I assume the answer is none of either. The Tigers might climb a little. I mean, they're fourth from the bottom for me. They might climb a little bit just because Skaggs is getting a little bit of ownership, but I don't want either thing.
Okay, that's fair. I don't have any Skaggs. I do have some Detroit just because I think Detroit can maybe get something going today. And not a great run total, though, but they are one very cheap. You can afford the guys in a couple of varieties there. And John Hicks, I think, too, is an interesting catcher play. He does have, out of all the catchers on the slate, he actually is a guy who can hit a ball, which I think is a positive, given that I have like Martin Maldonado in lineups, and he doesn't do anything at all.
Yes, hitting a ball while rostering a player is incredibly important to how well you'll play.
I mean, look, the catcher situation has been dire. And again, another thing deeper dive guys talked about, but it is one of my constant frustrations. The catcher is just terrible on DK, and on FanDuel, you can do something else there. You got to play the catchers. You have to play a catcher on DK, and really, it's all terrible every day. It's garbage.
Let me take a look at catcher right now for DraftKings. We'll see where I land.
Yeah, like I could make an argument for like Mitch Garver. I could make an argument for Hicks, and everybody else is just like, okay, the stack works, so I'll throw the catcher in there. And Maldonado, 2,800. All right, sure.
Stephen Vogt is number 1 for me. Alfaro is second. Maldonado third, if that helps you.
Oh, all right. There we go.
It is a pretty bleak catching spot today. Only Only 3 guys hitting above 7th in the order. So, yeah, not a lot of guys you just want to one-off.
No, it's not an exciting slate of catcher options, but hopefully those 3 give people some hope out there. I just hate the position. I wouldn't mind like another utility or something. It's enough.
I mean, it's the same thing about like having a roster of defense in football. It doesn't make the fantasy experience better.
But defense, at least there's some sort of. I mean, I guess it's the same argument.
What you want out of the defense is you finding the one team that scored a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, but at least there are stats.
Getting the catch. It's like getting the catcher that hits the home run today.
Right. It's like when you get Zunino on a good day where it's like, oh, he can hit a home run and he does that at a reasonable rate that I can predict. Like defense, you could tell there's pressure generated or they're like deflecting balls or sort of stats you can point to like that'll lead to a defense success, at least theoretically, eventually. For catcher, it's just like, oh yeah, this guy he's got a -10 WRC plus and he hits .008. So what do you do with him? I don't know. Get him on that one day, he gets that one hit, I guess.
Yeah, just don't use him. Make like one infield utility, make one outfield utility. Make it really weird. Mix up the construction of lineups or something.
Oh, Shy looking 247. Spags lock Contreras for the Cubs. First of all, I think he might be a little biased because it's Shy looking, but yeah, he is one of the catchers that's fair. I shouldn't lump him in with the other guys. He actually does hit very well. And but I don't want to pay $5K for him either. So it's a real situation here at catcher. Weird question. Cozart or Van Meter? So Tyler Lee here going to the bargain basement shopping, going down to Filene's basement for his utility outfielder options, or I guess infielder for Cozart. What would you do out of those 2, Cozart and Van Meter?
What Van Meter is on what team now?
Cincinnati, I think.
That's what I thought, and that's what I went to, and I don't have him in here right now, so that's intriguing to me.
Well, Van Meter, I can tell you, has 1 at-bat this year versus a lefty, and he has gotten on base 1,000% of the time.
Maybe I didn't update the Reds lineup?
Maybe. He's in the 9-hole, Peraza in the 8, Casali 7.
I did update the Reds lineup.
His name is Josh, too. So, not supporting a fellow
update the
Josh.
Reds lineup. I thought I did it. Apparently, I didn't.
Is he not on FanDuel for some reason? Maybe.
That's a really realistic answer that didn't cross my mind there. We'll find out in a second. It's certainly possible.
Yeah, check your Josh Van Meter and tell me where he falls on the spectrum.
Now he's there.
Okay.
Must not be in my names table. Nope, he's there as well. Is he not in Fangraphs? See, the issue here is that Fangraphs.
No, he is on Fangraphs.
Wow, he's not on Steamer.
Oh, there you go. Maybe Joshua.
No, I'm searching for the last name. He's just not in Steamer's most recent update, so I might have to refresh this. I don't have him in here right now.
I'm glad we plugged a hole for you, thanks to the power of the question from Tyler and the power of Josh Van Meter.
Yeah, I'm super not concerned whether or not I have him.
you sure you're not? What if he has like a 3 home run day? Big debut for Josh Van Meter.
Then I'll still not have him, I guess.
You're going to watch Josh Van Meter soar up the tournament rankings.
Yeah, so he is so useless that Steamer doesn't even have him projected. He's projected for 1 plate appearance in the rest of the season, and as best I can tell, is not a part of the rest of the season update. So, yeah, how do I want to deal with this?
Matthew Prodwell saying, shush on Van Meter. Apparently he's the big secret on the slate that even Steamer, not on it.
He is a terrible baseball player. Terrible. Projects to be god-awful. He is essentially not a prospect in any form. The only tool that he has that ever projects to even be average is the hit tool, which is also below average right now. So think of it like the dirt worst Tony Gwynn ever.
He's been in the minors since 2013, so he's been toiling. 336 batting average in AAA. It's not bad.
Yeah, and it's probably the same as his on-base percentage and his slugging.
His on-base 431, slugging 736,
That's
OPS fine. 1167.
It's fine. He sucks, so just don't play him.
Load up on your Josh Van Meter.
Play him in the 9-hole if you want to waste your money.
Play Josh Van Meter in your home run picking contest. He's hitting a dong today. Yeah, look, whenever we talk about a guy like this who's completely random and like it's no logical reason for him to do anything, that guy hits a home run. I've noticed that several times.
I wish that I could put any amount of money down on that, but I won't get the odds that I'm looking for.
Josh Van Meter prop bets? Is there one online? Can we make this a sports betting show about solely Josh Van Meter bets?
Kyle Hendricks is getting some ownership right now.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a thing.
He is the second chalkiest guy on DraftKings.
I mean, look, it's a good team total going against them. And, we've seen what the Cubs pitchers do. Like, I think they're sort of like the Houston pitchers to me, where I think they're sort of on the same spectrum of like, they're okay. They're not getting crazy strikeouts. And we've seen the best of it. Like, they're going to get you maybe high teens to, it's actually exactly what I said with Jake yesterday about John Lester, where it's like, he probably will get you high teens. And if he gets the win bonus, then he'll get you into the 20s. It's basically exactly what he did. Like, same thing for Hendricks.
Dude, why is Addison Russell not coming through here now?
Oh, it's not just obscure. Maybe it's just guys who Steamer doesn't like. They don't like Addison Russell for as many issues. They don't like Josh Van Meter. Who knows what he did?
Oh, he's not in Yahoo's player pool. Okay, good to know.
Oh, I would have liked that Steamer was just biased against these guys.
I forgot that Yahoo was first. I looked at it. I was like, why does that guy not have a salary? I guess I need to start crunching.
You should do that. Hendricks or okay, Jeremy in caps lock. Hendricks or Peacock, please. Which of those two would you go to? I would go Hendricks.
I'm going to change the subject. So, what is our final decision on what we want to do with Colorado? Because I think that's kind of important and way more important than Hendricks Peacock.
I would say they're important in different ways, but let's see. What's our postponement risk at right now on the site? That's what I've been mostly going with lately. Are we down to 0? No, we're down to 20%. So that's come down a little. So if I were you, I would play him. You like risk stuff like that. That's your leverage.
Yeah, I don't love it as much in baseball.
I don't know. I think that just seems like a you move. Like you lose, maybe cut your projection in half then, like or cut it by 20%.
How can you say someone is useless when he hit 13 home runs in 30 games in AAA? Pretty easily. Without even skipping a beat, I can say it that easily. Yeah, I'm going to move forward with Rockies and Giants as if it's playing. So, YOLO.
Yeah, I think that's the right approach. Based on how you play, I don't see why you wouldn't play it right now if we have the postponement risk that's come down throughout the hour. Like, I think that's sort of what you look for. That's your edge.
Also, shout out to the A's for sucking. I understand that they're not putting that lineup out because of Chris Davis, but thank God they are a second worst stack for me, and I don't have to care all that much about when they scratch Chris Davis.
I mean, it's a Sonny Gray revenge game anyway, so that's going to be.
I'm not worried about that revenge.
And I'm not playing Sonny Gray either, but yeah, maybe it's a thing for him.
I like Sonny Gray as a pitcher. I don't like him in this slate.
Yeah, it's fair. The price is not that great. If you were in the 7s, I think I would have probably gotten there some more. Hendricks very heavy. So to go back to the Hendricks question, the Hendricks or Peacock question, because Bud, I have a family also, and he has a family, so I want to make sure we answer his question. Hendricks very heavy. Should I lighten up? So you're taking.
I prefer Peacock, by the way.
Oh, okay. I prefer Hendricks. I would take the ownership and go to Hendricks. I think he's safer.
You probably like Hendricks gin too.
Not a big gin guy. Gin has a weird grassy taste that I don't like.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a big gin guy. I once went to like a gin restaurant or a gin bar in the East Village on like an important business meeting, and I had to pretend I liked gin, and I had to like 5 different gins. They were all terrible. They all taste like somebody spitting up into an alcohol.
Yeah, I'm not a gin guy.
No, thank you. McCod, or that guy just gets dropped by the team 2 minutes before lock. Josh Van Meter is a lock today. He's not getting dropped anywhere.
He's not the Tim Quarterman of today.
No, did you hear he had 13 home runs in 30 games in the minors?
Oh yeah, I heard it. I immediately disregarded that information as completely irrelevant.
I think I think that's a sign he has some power. On a slate where he's at the minimum price on DK, like I'd play him over Cozart, I think.
I mean, I think they both stink.
I think Van Meter, at least Van Meter is an unknown quantity who again has gotten on base every single time he's been up to versus a lefty pitcher, 1-for-1. So nowhere to go but down, I guess.
I mean, I guess if we're using that sort of data, we just assume that he never not gets on base, right? Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah. So he's going to be the new Cody Bellinger. We'll all remember this moment where Josh Van Meter took off. He's the natural, actually, if you don't know that movie.
Well, I mean, Cody Bellinger gets out, so he's already better than Cody Bellinger.
That's a good point. He projects well, according to my version of Steamer, which just looks at one at bat and then projects it to be the exact same way every at bat in the future. That's how we're doing it.
What could go wrong there?
That actually would be pretty funny if I put out my own projection system and that was just what it was. It's just like, oh yeah, he's just going to be perfect forever. He'll never get like a hit. He'll just get on base a lot.
I mean, you'd be lit DFS at that point, huh?
I did see that today. Probably don't need to get onto it on the show, but what a character that guy is.
That's a word for it.
Spags, Devers, or Benintendi for FanDuel? Which would you go with? And also, I have a follow-up question, but which of those two would you think is more appealing as part of a Red Sox stack on FanDuel?
Somebody in Benintendi?
Devers.
I greatly prefer Benintendi.
Okay.
I don't see them as particularly close.
All right, similar, another FanDuel Red Sox related question. Would you go with a FanDuel Red Sox stack or a FanDuel Twin stack? Which one do you prefer, Josh?
You'll get more leverage over the field going to Minnesota. The Red Sox grade out better than me. I anticipate having more Red Sox than Twins, but that is not an indictment on the Twins.
Okay.
It's a hard question to answer. Like, the Twins grade out well, but the Red Sox have twice as much ownership, so it depends on the rest of your lineup. I'm going to sneeze, by the way.
Yeah, I think both your take and the sneeze are well founded. Like the Red Sox speed just grade out much better on both sites, but for tournaments you're going to get much less ownership, and it's a guy in Thornton who's been getting hit pretty hard, so I certainly don't mind going against him.
I'm back from my sneeze.
I'm glad you survived.
Me too. I'm glad my eyes didn't come out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you kept your eyes open, you might have just blown an eyeball out across the room.
Man, they are going to postpone this stupid Rockies game as soon as I finish crunching, aren't they?
Look, you're doing the right thing. The numbers went down, the postponement risk went down on the site. You like leverage. You're getting leverage right now. You're getting low-owned guys that you like. I think you're making the right play.
When did Josh get so preppy, by the way? He used to be like the ghetto kid in high school. Now he has a collar under his shirt. It's a soccer jersey. I'm wearing a soccer jersey. This isn't a polo. I'm wearing a soccer jersey from 15 years ago. I promise you, I'm still dressing like the person you thought I was.
Old double shirt Josh. Gonna wear an upside down visor next.
That was a gimmick of mine in my I don't know, when I was 12.
Oh, I had it. I wore it briefly, I think end of senior year in high school.
I did a lot of visor when I was on the golf course, and I would, depending on what shot I needed, it would get all flipped around and stuff. God, I have no respect for my old self. I mean, I don't have a lot of respect for my current self either, so it doesn't really matter all that much.
It all is part of the rich tapestry of the adult you've become. That's all I can say.
I like Sansa Stark. It got me here.
People don't like that.
Which is stupid, but we're not here for that today.
Sir Legend asking, would you go Max Stassi and Justin Turner, or Yuli Gurriel and Kurt Casale if you have two other Cincy players on a DK single entry?
I would probably do the one that got me the second red, so whatever with Casale.
Yeah, I agree. And
I need to build a tool for baseball so that I don't have to answer any of these questions, because it's so different answering a one. Like, the answer is both of them every time in baseball. In the NBA, I can actually think about that in the way that I think the game's going to go. In baseball, it's just these guys are all separated by a half point.
True. Yeah, so just go with the correlation for the most part. Paul Blackburn of the night, the annual award for our guy Makad. It's originated about a year and change ago at this point for the pitcher who is terrible, but maybe on a GPP winning lineup today. Who would be your pick for that one today, Josh?
I wish Adam was listening, because I'd say Sonny Gray. Urena? Is that a bad answer?
No, that's actually was going to be my answer because it's either Cashner to me or Urania, and I have more Urania than Cashner. So,
Dude, Chad is all over me today.
what now? You getting roasted? Getting Sean V roasted? Where's Sean V? Come back.
You need
Sean
to
V.
dress like Adam Banks again, dressing like a hobo. Somebody wants me to pop the collar. Somebody wants me to wear overalls with one button loose. Paul Harless is my guy. Josh was up 50 points in FanDuel single entry when I went to sleep last night. Maybe he can afford to be preppy now.
You went right to Banana Republic once you got that big tourney win.
I did.
Andrew saying, our boy Andrew Mock, Spags, I'm adding fuel to the fire. Van Meter is one of the coolest names on the slate. His first name is Josh, and Josh gets a dongs, and it's a cool last name. It's a lock. It does make a compelling argument. You should pick Van Meter.
Well, he's got a terrible first name, so.
I wish actually I might put one Van Meter in there because I think I have a Cowart lineup or a Cozart lineup where I can probably swap them in. I just want a little taste of the Van Meter now. That's how you get hooked.
Is it?
I think so. A little exposure.
I have my crunches done.
Yeah, tell me what you're seeing while I put in my Van Meter. Ooh, he is in. Whee!
Wait, what's going on?
I got my Van Meter in.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I got 1 out of 20 with Van Meter. So I'm now riding with the Van Meter boys, much like the Van Buren boys that Kramer once had trouble with on Seinfeld.
All right.
The 8.
I'll refresh DK first since that will matter more to you.
Yes, please. Cater to my interests.
I'm trying.
I appreciate it. That's why we're pals.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to get me anywhere to shout out FanDuel right now. Nobody's going to care.
Van Meter is an Uber driver. That would be a great name to be an Uber driver.
Keep the Van Meter running.
If it doesn't go well today, he might end up there.
Well, they're striking today, right?
It's true. That's true. You
I
could
think
use them.
I don't follow it because I would order an Uber today. So
yeah, I don't even know. Like,
I don't care what those scabs look like. They can happily pick me up. I can't do this. Okay, top stacks on DraftKings. As I expected, Red Sox and Angels are 1-2. Number 3, I can't with this. Number 3 ends up being the Miami Marlins.
Ooh, so you're going leverage. I got some Marlins too. The leverage boys going against.
Yeah, I ended up a little bit under the field on Hendricks. Reds are after that, and then Giants and Rockies I have quite a bit of. So if they go under-owned, I'm going to be massively over the field there. For pitching, not what I expected. 57% sale. I didn't crunch this correctly, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, none of it matters. I got to recrunch DraftKings. Well, like most of this is going to hold true, but I got to rerun DK.
Higher score tonight, Kershaw or Sale? I would bet on Sale for that one.
Yeah, I mean, Sale is the answer.
Yeah. Certainly could go the other way, but you got to play it the way it is. And Sale going against Baltimore compared to Kershaw going against Atlanta. Those are 2 very different matchups.
Correct.
Let's see. No one talking about Houston. There's a stack. Yeah, I guess people aren't talking about. They're at a weird price on DraftKings. I forced some in there because I do think they're in a good spot against Jorge Lopez, but they don't naturally occur to me a lot. Houston doesn't as a stack.
I don't ever get Houston.
Yeah. I actually agree. I think projection wise, they just never really come out that well. I just try to force them in whenever I notice a bad pitcher going against them. So that was what the case was with Jorge Lopez. It's not bad, but it's closer to bad than mediocre.
I wish I got more Astros. Like I'd never freak out or be bummed that they were like my top stack. They just never are.
Yeah. Jose Altuve has been priced reasonably. He was priced down yesterday pretty cheap, but he had a 0. So that was the way to go. But up a little bit more, but he's the only guy under 5K out of that first 5 on Houston. So that's kind of tough price wise.
All right, I have FanDuel exposures, and these are legitimate. And these are going to be really, really unique. So you ready for this?
Sure.
Top hitting stacks on FanDuel. Red Sox, Rockies, Angels, Dodgers. Those are my top 4. Twins coming in 5th. That's not really the unique piece. Chris Sale, 9%, projected 25. Matt Boyd, 0. Clayton Kershaw, projected 16%. I've got 7. I've got 17% Kyle Hendricks, 27% Brad Peacock, 20% John Gray at 2% ownership. I am balls deep in that Rockies-Giants game.
Wow. Yeah, no, you're going after it. All right. That was what I thought you should do when you were like questioning it. Like that's the Josh play. That's,
I don't love this at all. I assumed I would have a ton of Sale.
Yeah. I like that you got that much Gray though. Like I don't love the amount of Peacock you're going to have because that's a dude I'm not very much on today.
Oh, I knew I would. Gray was going to happen one way or the other. That was never up in the air.
Samar Green, quit sleeping on the Royals, jerks. I just defended the Royals. They're another team I forced stacks to today. So yeah, Samar Green, you're incorrect, but you're right. Everybody keeps targeting against the Royals. No respect for poor people of Kansas City. Great ribs. I like dry ribs.
Never been there. Don't anticipate ever ending up there either.
To be honest, I haven't been there either, but I've eaten places that claim to have Kansas City barbecue, so that was enough for me.
There are a bunch of places in Wilmington that claim to make a Philly cheesesteak. I promise you they don't.
Well, I mean, like in New York, I feel like in particular, you get enough of the people who move from somewhere, right? I had good Kansas barbecue. I also went to like their barbecue festival in New York, which had like the people from Kansas City who come and do it. So I've had Kansas City for real, at least not in Kansas City.
I don't buy it. None of this sounds real.
You're in Carolina. What do you think about the Carolina, like the vinegar sauce?
Yeah, it is vinegar sauce. I love Carolina barbecue. I just love barbecue in general. I'm just a guy that likes to eat smoked meat. Like it's not something where I have like a particular genre. I'm in for all of it.
The dude who does the Air Yards site for football, he's always like tweeting about like making a slow cooked like pork thing in his smoker. And I'm always like, man, like I really like your Air Yards thing, but I feel like you might be moving ahead in terms of just well prepared social media about barbecues.
I make a lot of barbecue in the nice weather.
Oh man. I don't get enough barbecue time these days. All right, let's see. Got our last 5 minutes. Checking for any questions here. There. Sean V replied to a comment, which I'm missing a notification for now, about John Means. How about John Means, huh? Coming through versus the Red Sox.
Yeah, he had 4 strikeouts in that outing. Had I known that he had 4 strikeouts, I would have increased my exposure on the Red Sox.
I can't believe you actually had a ready take to poor John Means.
Well, yeah, I have a ready take because people come with bad takes about that start, so I have to be ready.
I think the fact that he gets, he misses bats enough, they're not making great contact. That's all. Look, it would be nice if you got better production out of those strikeouts, but that's our hope for future John Means. Right now, we can only live with present John Means.
Yeah. I wish that I could go back in time and put more into the Red Sox that particular day. It would make me money. I mean that sincerely. I am not trolling. I mean that sincerely. Knowing how many strikeouts he would have had should make you want to have more of the other team.
I was heavily against John Means that day, and it hurt me inside because I was the earliest on the bandwagon, I think, out of everybody, and it's been a tough ride. But I was happy to see it, even though my stacks just did nothing that day. It was like, good for you. I was like the guy in Rudy, just like you did it, man.
You were Rudy?
No, I forget who the black guy is in the GIF from Rudy.
Oh, like the groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I have no idea what his name is in that movie. He's the groundskeeper. All right, now I have DK exposures for real, but I also have 4 minutes, so I'm going to prioritize pasting them in first and then talking about them.
Yeah, go for it. I'm reading the questions now. How'd you guys project that Anderson does against the Reds? For me, not well, but did you have any Anderson that came up before you started doing all your crunches?
Anderson?
Brett Anderson.
Brett?
Yeah.
No, I'll never have Tyler Anderson.
Or Brett Anderson.
Or Brett Anderson. No, I would have Tyler Anderson. No, I have no Brett Anderson, and I never would. He's a terrible DFS option.
What about Chase Anderson?
More likely to have Chase Anderson. More likely to have Mr. Anderson.
What about Dan Henderson?
Dan Henderson?
Yeah.
Like the MMA fighter?
Yeah.
Sure.
Never mind.
Okay, you ready for exposures?
Yeah, do it.
All right, twice the field on the Red Sox. Number 2, Angels. Number 3, Giants. Reds, then Rockies. On DK, 24% Chris Sale.
Yeah.
3% Clayton Kershaw. They are at 44 and 30, respectively. Double the field on Peacock, equal with the field on Hendricks. Oh, God, I'm making a giant mistake right now. Whatever, I don't care. Today's fun. Almost 30% John Gray. Over 30% Derek Holland.
Okay.
John Gray and Derek Holland both
column.
projected for 2% right now. So if that game rains out, like, my day is dead. And I'm clearly taking a risk. But I'm also happy with it because if I'm right, I'm getting two pitchers that I like. I'm not getting them because I don't think they're good. So should be fun. Should be real
And you're
fun.
getting the hedge, too, with the stacks going against them. So it seems like you kind of have it covered in the way that I would want to have it.
I have all of it. I have a massive amount of the Giants, the Rockies, and both of the pitchers. At some point, like, if that game plays, something will be decent.
Yes, I agree. I think that's the right approach. And I think that's why I was surprised when you were thinking about not playing it. Because like, that's, if there's enough of a risk of it playing, you're going to have a pretty big edge on the field if that game is worth anything. And you're right. It's going to be worth it in some capacity. Just we'll see which way it is. Assuming it plays.
Did I upload those?
Also, so if you are watching the stream, by the way, this is sort of the approach that I think we would advocate for. Like, Josh is doing this, but he's certainly not feeling great about it. So if you are averse to risk, you might want to take that game out of consideration. But if you're willing to lean into risk in the hopes that either you have enough lineups that'll cover you if that game doesn't go off, or you just want to try to get ahead of the tournament field and you think the plays in there are good enough, that's what Josh is doing. So those are two ways to think about whether risk going up its lock.
I am really, really uncomfortable about it. I don't like when things are outside of my control. Obviously, this is something I could control, but Jerks and Profar hitting second. That's exciting.
Look, I think you made a perfectly viable case. I hope people watching this actually get that this is sort of a teachable moment where you can see the actual consternation Josh has as he's doing it. That's sort of how weather games should make you feel if you are going to play one that has some risk. That is what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not. I'm willing to take those chances because in the off chance that I am right and our ownership is where it is, I probably clean up if something breaks, if one of those things becomes the outlier performance. Now, I just need Sonny Gray and Derek Holland to be like good, and that works. But if the Giants or Rockies end up having like an outlier offensive performance, I'll be in really, really good shape.
Yeah, and that's a spot too in Coors. I mean, it's sort of the ideal situation if you were going to go for leverage and take that risk. This is the time to do it. It's not like you're, a San Diego Padres game with two mediocre offenses. You're going with Coors. I mean,
the more interesting piece for me right now is that I have 27% total ownership to Sale and Kershaw, and we project for 74. I am incredibly nervous about that, especially Sale against the Orioles. So, go Orioles.
Somebody asking for the A's lineup. It did just come out, as Josh mentioned. Number 1, Marcus Semien. Second hole, Jerks and Profar, Matt Chapman, Chris Davis, Matt Olson, Stephen Piscotty, Roman Reigns at number 7, Ramon Laureano at number 7, Robbie Grossman at 8, Nick Hundley at 9. That is the lineup in case you needed it for some reason. You can't see it. All right. We are locked. So let's see. Anything else here question-wise? Thoughts on Red Sox stack and Sale? I am on board with both those things. It's not a controversial take.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most popular thing everybody's doing. So, good luck.
Yeah, true. That is the upside and risk of every tournament. Oh, Lorenzo Robinson, Spags must have sold furniture. He can sell water to a mule. I think mules actually like water. So I don't think I don't know if that was an insult.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything does.
It's true. Yeah, I'm not a sales guy. But speaking of sales, hey, use that promo code live before lock at half off your first month on any Osmo.com package. Get all the ownership projections and rankings. The night slate is always a thing. We have a ton of content going on. Best ownership projections for night slates. You'll find them for every sport, but for MLB right now, the most relevant. Check that out. Use the promo code live before lock. Any parting words, Josh? We got everything in, and now you get to sweat the weather and your actual lineup performance.
I don't even think I sweat the weather here. I think we're just as likely to hear them just be like, oh, we're not going to play now.
It would have been fun if it happened within these last 2 minutes, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to occur.
No, I don't think that it's going to occur either. I don't know. Go Giants. I mean, just go Coors. Something in Coors I would like to be better than everything else that happens today, because I will be better off than everyone for it.
There you go. Yeah, look,
if that game finishes like 3-2 with not a lot of strikeouts and just a lot of like dead hit balls into the snow, that's not going to go great for me.
All right, so let's root for Josh, but not really. Also, go check out Fast Eddie Fear. I'm dropping a link in the YouTube chat. If you want to go do some NBA playoff content, please do that. Also, hit the like button before you go over to watch Fast Eddie. The likes do help us out. I don't pander for them as much as I should during the show. We do appreciate them when we're busting out all these hot DFS takes and takes on barbecue and Van Meter and everybody else that you need to know about. You've learned about today. So hit us with that like button.
I'm so proud right now.
Of what?
Joe in Premium Slack said, he tagged you. Said, Josh has to love wrestling. He's an incredible heel. You have no idea how... Oh my God, like that is such an honor to hear. Oh, I'm so happy.
There you go. You made somebody made your day. I'm glad. It's not easy being the heel.
But Kevin Owens of DFS.
I once had to play the heel in a one-on-one basketball game, and I know it's hard. It's hard to give up that character of yourself.
I don't think it's a character. I think I'm living the gimmick, man.
Well, on that note, for the Undertaker, Josh Engelman, I'm Chris Spags. Thank you guys for watching, and good luck tonight.
Later, guys.